that's our first part from Life's Been Good, Joe Walsh. So we got the second fret here, the A string. A couple times up and down on that bend to the open. Slide into the 4 here on the A and then down to the A note, the second fret of the G string. And then kind of do the same thing from the A. Then you're going to kind of bend this 3 over here, so to that A note again. 2 power chord A's on upstrokes there. So you got. And the second one goes. Now when you get to the A the second time, that note, you got to bring a D chord along with it, a little D power chord. So. So you kind of got like a. So we got those 2 parts together. And now this third one, we got 3 of those bends there. So that's like the first one. Now the fourth one, so that's up to the 4 on the A and then 2 on the D. Slide those back down to the open. So that's the first part of the intro. Then we're gonna have this sliding chords thing. So we got the 5s on the D and G strings, sliding to the 4s, then going to the 2s. So it's that's a quicker slide that second time. Slower slide that next time, and then all the way to the 14, the A chord up here. So we got. And there's 2 hits. They're kind of like the low end of the chord up there, but you can kind of hit that or you can just let it kind of slide and hold its note. That time goes to the D chord. Kind of has another thing like that. So once it goes up for the 3rd time, up to that high A, we're going to come into that new part. So that's an F power chord, 1, 3, 3. So those notes are like a little D-shaped chord on the 5th fret. That's an F chord there. And then 5, 5, 3. That's a C chord. That's part of F chord, 2, 1, 1. So we got. And then we go to an A power chord. And then these 5s is part of an A minor chord. And this is a G, 4, 3, and 3. And this is an A minor, 2, 1, and open. So we got. Back to the F. Last one has the A minor chord. It goes to the open on the G and the B. Kind of like a G chord back to the A minor. And then we have this walk up. So we got C, D, E, F. So that's bump, 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 bump. To the C and then. Okay, and the chords that go with that, if you want to play some chords with that, it'll be like F, C with the E bass, D minor, C chord. Okay, but he's going. So that that one walks down. C, B, A, G. And once the G hits, that's the first beat of a new measure. You're going to start doing this chord up here. These three strings, top three strings, tens. So it's going to go. Okay, so the G note here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we hit on the 2 and the 4 for 2 measures there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we got this little riff. So we got 12 on the little one. And then we got 10, 10, 10, 8. And then we got 10s on the D string and the B string into 12s on the same strings. And then the second time starts the same. And we slide the 10s into 12. 10s and then 9 and 8. So we got. And then chords again. And then we got a C chord. And that's like a G chord with a B bass right there. So we got 3, 2, 0, 1, 2, open, open, open. A power chord right there. And then we're going to have another verse. Now, instead of like 4 times on this, it's going to go twice as long. But we're going to go ahead and do the next one to get to the next part again. Bum, 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 chord. Okay, and then it gets into like that synth riff, and then we're going to have the guitar solo coming up. Okay, so the guitar solo has a really interesting riff. So you're going to have your first finger down here on the 14th fret on the small E string, and then your pinky on the 17th fret of the B string, the second string, as you're doing a bend with this other one. You're going to do them one at a time, but they're all working together to kind of sustain into each other. So I'm bending that 16 and then hitting the 17 and then the 14. And then I'm bending this down, going to the 14. So the second one's a little different. So the first one. And the next one goes. And then we're going to go. So 17, 14 twice. And then a bend on this. Pull it off. And that comes after that. So let's look at what we got so far. Now we're going to move that whole shape down 2 frets and go. So we did the 14, and then we went straight down to the bottom string. But we still want that shape in there. Come back up with that bend, and then we go. So we come back into the higher one, and then we go. So that was little 17 to second string, little 14, third string, bend up and down. So once again. And moving up. Okay, then we got a new part here, 17 and 14. 3 times back and forth. Then we're gonna have one more of those. Then our riff again. So that's like the beginning first 2 again. Then we're gonna have. Okay, so that one is you wait till the very last beat of that measure. So you're like, wait all the way to the end and go. So, because these notes start the new measure, so it's like, and kind of an up and down. So that one doesn't bend right away. It hits and then up and down, and then jump down here. So we're gonna have 15, 12 twice. Hammer into that 14, and then we come way up high, 21st. So that's 21 and 20 twice. And then 19, 17, so. And then we got this. So that was 21 to 17 to 17 on the second, and then 19, 18 on the G, and then that's 14 to 16 on the D, 14 on the G a couple times. So the whole solo, one more time. And then we're going down second position lower there. Back up. Some high notes. We got the 17, 14 thing. Kind of like the start of it. This one waits to the very end. Then we go way high, 21. Okay, then you're gonna. So you do all that stuff, you got another verse. And that one's shorter like the first verse was. The middle verse is the longer one. So let's take it into that next thing. And it keeps on rocking and does some various stuff after that. There's some cool solo stuff in the end, like. So anyway, that's the gist of the action there. The crux of the biscuit is the apostrophe type of thing. So Joe Walsh, Life's Been Good, one of my favorite songs of all time. I remember that from when I was like 6, 7 years old, right in the mid 70s. Okay, so hope you guys like that. If you want a tab on this one, I'm gonna write out the solo, but if you want to check out a tab for the rest of it, for the rhythms and stuff, go on over to Songster. They got a great one over there. So thanks a lot for watching, y'all. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know if you have any requests. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, so that's the first thing from Rocky Mountain Way by Joe Walsh. We have this E chord, we got a 7 on the A string, then 9, 9, 9. We can also use the big E string. We're gonna hit it twice. And then we're gonna come in with one of those little honky tonk riffs. So we have the power chord of the E, 7 and 9. We jump to that 11 on the D string, so we got a. So you kind of got a E bass note between those different chords. So we got. You could do like one more little E right before it starts, like a. Okay, so that goes 8 times to get the thing started. And then we're gonna have this D chord. So we do the D chord, 5, 7, 7, 7, and we go to the E bass note each time in between. So D to E. And we kind of have a little, the honky tonk thing again. So we got. And there's a little thing where you can slide that chord down to the D before you hit the D again. So it's like. Okay, so at the end of that, on that fourth one, we got. So we had an E bass note before we went into the A power chord. And we have one of those little bluesy bends on that G note there to the E power chord. So we got. So we do that several times. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So we have an open and 3 on the big one. To the 4, that's going to move us to the A honky tonk thing. So that's like 2 bars of the A. Okay, so let's go back over that verse thing we had. We do that 4 times. The 4th time we go 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. A honky tonk, 2 bars, and then the E honky tonk. Back to A. B power chord. And then at the end of that, I'm kind of going chord, chord, bass, chord, chord, bass, chord, chord. The last one you could do like have an open before the D comes in. So. And that does it's like 4 times, and you're back to. So we got all that stuff. Okay, so we do that for a while, then we're gonna get into the solo. So before this solo, there's like kind of it kind of chills out for 4 bars. You just boom, to boom, boom, to boom, to boom. And then we have the talk box solo. So I'm not gonna use the talk box here, but we're gonna do that solo. So we got. Okay, so that's the first part. Let's break that down. So we got the big E, then we're sliding into the 7 on the E to the D here. So we're gonna kind of staccato that D and then hit it again and slide it down. And that was just an open to the 5. So 5, 5. And then I'm kind of going to the E and sliding up to the 6 here. And then going 5-7, quick slide, 6-5, 3-0. So I had a little open before I slid into that 6. So the only thing different really there is you got 3 5s. So we got the 7-5, 5, oh, 5, 5, 5, oh. We got a hammer there, and then we go 5, 3, oh. And then we got a hammer on 5-7 to the 5 here. Hold that one. So, but this one started with a 5-7, and then 7, 5, 7, 7 again to 5, half step slide, get to the 3, come back with the. So that one's a little different. 7, 5, 5, 5, 3, oh. So all of that part again, we got. So this is the new part. We got the 5, 3. We got a 2, 5 and 3, and then 2 on the B string to 4 on the G string. So we got. So this one starts with 5 on the B. Hit the 3 here, and then bend this 5 up. Hit it again while it's up. Then bend it down, pull off to the 5. So we got. At that time we had a little 4 on the G string before this. 2, 4. Now we're going to get into sliding into the 4 and the G with the 3 here on the B. So you got one of those deals. Then we're jumping up to this 10 on the B string. So from these 10 bends we got. So let's take a look at that. We got 5 sets. Take that 10 down. Got that 7 on the G, and then we got 7, 9 on the D. 3 of these bends on the small E and the 10. Then we're going to take one down and go to the 7. We got kind of an up and down on this 10. Pull off to that 8. 10, 8, and then we're going to have. So we're going to have an 8 to start this off, and then we start bending this 10 on the second string to the 7. We got like 6 of those. So we got the 10 down here, and then 17, bend this 10, regular 10, and then up and down on that one, second string. Get to the 8 and then the 9, and then we got. Okay, and that's the end of that solo. The slide solo begins. We're not going to do the slide on this lesson. He's in open E if you wanted to try that out. So if you were doing Statesboro Blues on the slide, you'd have that same kind of tuning, and you could try it out some Rocky Mountain Way. So once again on this solo, we're looking at the end from the bends here. And then we're back to the A. Like I say, slide solo to E. So it keeps doing that and it fades out. So that's Rocky Mountain Way by Joe Walsh. Hope you dug that. That'll have 3 pages of tabs to go along with it. And like I say, it has the solo, the talk box solo in the middle of the tune, but it doesn't have any slide. So maybe I'll do another lesson one of these days on all the slide parts from Rocky Mountain Way. Okay, so thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you soon.